Commissioner Dana, would you lead us in honoring this great nation?
Yes, would you all follow me in honoring our great nation and our great flag? I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Commissioner Bilberry.
Join me in a word of prayer this morning. Father, we come to you and thank you for your grace and your mercy, and we thank you for this wonderful country that we live in. Lord, there's people across the world over there right now that need protection and covering, our troops and our American citizens and our fellow brothers and sisters. And we just ask that you keep your covering, your hand on them, and Father, be with us today as we make decisions here that affect our citizens in this county. And thank you for loving us and caring about us in your Son, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Miss Cindy, do we have a quorum this morning?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Yes, you do.
Thank you. Approval of minutes. We've got a couple approvals that we need to do this morning. So any questions, any changes? I know Cindy wasn't here, the clerk wasn't here for our special meeting, but I think her replacement did a great job, so.
Yes.
Any questions, any changes?
Nope. Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the minutes. Do you want for both?
Yes, let's go ahead and do both.
Okay. Cindy, I don't have the dates.
July 22nd, August 4th.
July 22nd and August 4th.
Second.
Thank you.
Have a motion by Commissioner Dana and a second by Commissioner Taylor to approve the minutes from the regular Chaves County Board of Commission meeting on July 22nd and the special meeting of the Chaves County Board of Commissioners on August 4th. Any further questions or discussion on these minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Both of them pass unanimously. Thank you. All right, real quick before we get into our agenda, I'd like to have Miss Jennifer Smith come up and kind of give us the highlights of the health fair that was held 2 weekends ago, correct? Here at the county administration building and on the county courthouse lawn. So thank you. If you would state your name and address for the record.
My name is Jennifer Smith. I'm with the Chaves County Health Council. I'm the coordinator. I want to thank you for having me here today, and I also want to thank the county, Bill Williams, Chaves County DWI, the Sheriff's Office, and many other partners for helping us to make this expo a success. We hope, this is our third annual Health Expo. This is back to in-person this year. We did a hybrid expo this year. We had in-person booths here at the county building right in front, and then at the Chaves County Courthouse we shared with the farmers market, which really boosted numbers for both events. We had about 30 booth vendors, and we're getting reports in now, just streaming in a little bit on numbers of participants for the expo. We've had reports anywhere from 25 people to 250. So, you know, some booths get more visitors than others just based on what they're there for. So we call that a success, especially in this year kind of coming back from COVID. We gave away over $1,500 in prizes for participants. We held a scavenger hunt where each participant had to visit certain booths at both locations. And we had many entries, and everybody that's received a prize has been super excited about it. Our goal with this expo and partnering with the county was to bring our two organizations together and try and get more work done within our county to make us a healthier and stronger county. We invite you to join us for our health council meetings. It's available to anybody. You don't have to be involved in health and wellness related fields to be a part of the health council. I'm not involved in any health field, and I'm still part of the health council because we believe in whole health, not just physical or mental health. We believe in social health and, you know, just health in general, making sure we have a healthy county and a healthy people. So thank you. It was a really, really big success, and we're very appreciative of the county for allowing us to use their facilities to make this a success.
Well, thank you. Commissioners, do you have any questions for Ms. Smith? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Appreciate all you do. Chamber of Commerce, Chaves County Chamber of Commerce, Ms. Andrea Moore.
Mr. Chairman, may I just make one statement?
Yes, ma'am.
People on Facebook cannot hear, and it's breaking up. Okay, okay. Maybe it's their internet, I guess? Okay. Okay, thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I'm Andrea Moore with the Roswell Chamber of Commerce. And I just want to say that we are going to have our first board meeting for this fiscal year next week. And so far, we're off to a pretty good start. Our second issue of Roswell Now magazine has hit doorsteps. So everybody within the boundaries of Chaves County should have already received one. If for some reason you have not received a copy of our Roswell Now magazine, please contact the chamber and we will either deliver it, mail it, or have you stop by and come get it, whatever is easiest. And we are in the process of delivering our extra overflow to the hotels and other businesses around the county as well, so they can have a copy. And we are in the process of working on our winter issue, which will feature our aviation and our restaurants around Chaves County. So we're excited to have that because I've learned quite a bit so far with just our first two issues. As somebody that has lived in Chaves County for 25 years, I'm always amazed at how much there is left to learn. And we have been working closely with RISD since school has started to help disseminate information with school closures and who's on the watch list and things like that. We are working on possibly bringing back our balloon festival for next year because we would like to move it from where it was traditionally in the May time period, more in the fall around September. We would like to bring it back the weekend before Balloon Festival up in Albuquerque. Since everybody's already going to be here in the state coming through Roswell, it seems like a no-brainer to be able to do that. So those are things that we're going to be discussing at our board meeting next week. And other than that, we're just talking to visitors as they come in and helping them build their itineraries so that way we can have people in town for more than just an hour. We show them, you know, the top 10, 15 things to do in Chaves County and, you know, our top 5, 10 restaurants throughout the county as well. And with that, I stand for questions.
Commissioners, any questions for Ms. Moore?
Mr. Chairman, I just have, you said the visitors, how has the flow of visitors been? Have you talked to businesses? Is it picking up? Or
Very steady. It's
Going-
actually been pretty steady. Not
Good.
only have we seen that in our own office with people coming in and requesting information about things to do, but the businesses have said the same thing. And that's businesses all over the county, not just our Main Street corridor.
Good, good. Are you working with the businesses too, trying to help? I heard horrible news this morning that Cowboy Cafe is shut down because they can't find anybody. Margaritas is shut down because they can't.
We're trying to help
boy.
everybody the best that we can as well, because that's the thing that we're hearing from everybody. And it doesn't matter if you're a restaurant, a car dealership, or just a retail mom and pop type place. Everybody is having an issue finding people to work. But we're hopeful that when the extension of the unemployment benefits lapse, that maybe some of these people will come back into the workforce and we'll be able to get these businesses up and running again.
I think that'd be nice too. And also, years ago, used to have, the chamber used to host like a seminar, a service seminar, you know, how to, I mean, it's the basics, but that's what I'm hearing from retailers is
We've heard the
people
same thing.
coming back in don't know the basics.
We'd love to do that kind of stuff, and of
I
course,
think
you know,
that
with
might
these
be-
COVID restrictions being
Right.
as they are back and forth, we're
knows?
just trying to figure out at what point we can do all of that. For example, we're bringing back the Sheriff's Luncheon this afternoon,
Yes.
11:30
Saw
at
that.
the Chamber of Commerce. Everybody's invited.
Good.
So things like that, you know, we're starting slowly to make sure that, A, we don't put anybody at risk unnecessarily, and then things like the Sheriff's Luncheon, if that's a huge success, we'll add one more thing, and if that's a success, we'll add one more thing, because the last thing I want to do is overextend ourselves at the chamber and have something be unsuccessful. We are wrapping up the summer, so every Thursday, we were trying to have a business after hours for June, July, and August, and we do not have any more scheduled for the month of August. So starting in September, we will go back to 2 business after hours a month, the first and third Thursday of every month from 5 to 6:30. And as we get closer to those dates, we will disseminate that information on who we've got lined up. And so far through the end of the year, we look pretty booked.
Good, good. And I know your Facebook page has got a lot of information, so I
Absolutely.
appreciate
We try to
that.
keep it updated, but there's
Yes.
3 of us in the office.
No, that's wonderful.
So if there's something that needs to be posted, that the community wants us to put up there, just call, text us, come in, and we'll sit down, because it does take just a matter of moments. But sometimes, like I said, we get busy, and we're like, okay, we're going to post something, the phone rings, somebody comes in, and of course, you know, we sleep, and then everything gets reset.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioners, anything else? Andrea, the traffic that's coming in, is it in-state, out-of-state? Are you seeing more people that are coming from
A lot of
out-of-state?
out-of-state, obviously in southeastern New Mexico, it's a lot of Texans, but we are seeing a really good mix of a little bit of both. But definitely right now, since school has started, a lot more of the Texas traffic, for sure.
Okay, awesome. All right, thanks for doing such a great job. We appreciate
Thank you.
everything you're doing for the community. All right. Mike E., come on down. The myth, the man.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Happy Thursday. So a couple of brief things for you. Hinging back, Mr. Chairman, on Commissioner Dana's discussion with Andrea Moore about people needing jobs. And you probably saw in today's paper the article about the federal subsidies end September 4th. We are again hosting another job fair. It's September 14th at the Roswell Convention Center. We currently have, I think, around 30 businesses signed up. We've been reaching out to a lot of other businesses as well as people to come, and we'll probably Facebook that marketing piece, Melissa will, so we can get more word out. But we're seeing the same problems everywhere we go. People, staffing is an issue. Not enough folks, and you know, I just traveled with the city manager across the country, and everywhere we went, same issue. So it's not just Roswell or Chaves County, it's everywhere. So hopefully these job fairs will help, and we're encouraged by that extra $300 to go away, and maybe people will be encouraged to go find employment. On the Career Tech Education front, we've done a lot of work in our county. As you know, we visited all the schools, all the districts, met with each of the superintendents. I spent an evening down in Hagerman to talk to the community, but went down to Dexter with Melissa, spoke with the board, and then just recently we had a pretty intensified event out at Eastern New Mexico campus and held an industry day. Some of you were there, and we had a really nice breakfast with about 70 to 80 educators, high school principals, a lot of principals, counselors, all to line up young people to move through the education system to look forward to a career after high school. So I think we're on the right track. I've been attending meetings with the Roswell ISD, in fact, even this week with their contractor on CTE, on how we can help those students within Roswell. So I'm encouraged by the activity that's going on, and as you know, it's all about workforce. This is not a today workforce solving problem. That's a future problem, but we don't start, we're never going to get to that point. So companies like Ascent Aviation, they were at the industry fair as well. As you know, our recent membership meeting, we had Dave Carroll, the president of Ascent, here, and gave a nice talk from his own lips about what's going on with their project. We just had a call with the state and him as well, and they're on track, and he's hopeful to break ground by the end of this calendar year. So we're pretty excited about that. So we appreciate Bill Williams, the county manager, and all of you, and your efforts to help coordinate this transfer of funds, but also the MOU and things like that to move the project forward. But it takes that coordinated effort, so thanks for that. You probably have seen the dirt moving on Brasher and Southeast Maine on 285, and that's Admiral Beverage. And I know we had some preliminary meetings about a possible industrial revenue bond with the county. We couldn't find out, Bill found out that we couldn't do that. So we did meet with the city manager and Admiral Beverage just yesterday, and that's moving forward. You know, I don't know if you know, but the building's about a $12 million building. It's about 6 to 8 months worth of construction, local contractors. So I'm encouraged by that. It's going to really change the appearance, obviously, of that area, and I'm hopeful that it'll create more opportunity as it's built. There'll be up to 75 jobs as a result of this expansion. Lastly, well, not lastly, you know me, I always talk about a couple different things, but you probably saw the great article that Lisa Dunlap wrote about Red Mountain Arsenal, the ammunition manufacturer, JTIP award. And you know, we last year did 4 testimonials with companies. Red Mountain is our 5th so far, and we continue to see great results of working with the local companies to help them obtain funding to offset their training costs by state dollars, and also grow the economy by creating more jobs. So we do have a couple other projects working on in that regard with LEDA, Local Economic Development Act, with the state, and also with JTIP. So as those come along, we'll certainly inform you. Lastly, as I mentioned, I was with the city manager last week. We went to Rubb Building Systems in Maine. And why did we go? We went because we have a belief that the city's inventory at the Air Center is about 30% short of where it needs to be able to attract new opportunities. We don't have anything available, or much available, that's of any current use. Great meeting, met with the CEO of the company, toured the factory, and we are encouraged that they want to partner with us a little bit better, a little stronger, not necessarily better, but a little stronger, to help create more infrastructure at the Air Center at a pretty good price. So we're encouraged by how that went. The factory was amazing. The building itself, the buildings they build themselves are pretty great. I mean, we were actually in some of those structures, and the steel in those are double galvanized inside and out, so they're going to last a very long time. The building that I stood in on the dock of the river has been standing since 1984. So that's, nearly 40 years, right? So the fabric they use comes in a variety of colors. It's actually manufactured in Sweden, and Commissioner Zell has a blue piece. You have that, Commissioner? So that's one of the colors, and Bill's got some colors as well. But Commissioner, if Chairman Cavan said if you can tear that in half, he'd give you $100.
Ooh,
Well, he didn't really say that, but if
no scissors.
you can't tear it.
No
But
pocket knife.
it's pretty amazing. Some of the structures were not just all fabric. There was one that at the airport, in an airport, that had brick and metal siding, and just the roof was that fabric. It's not the ordinary things that you would think about as this building. So I'm really encouraged by the product. And that's my whole point, is the product is pretty amazing. And since Commissioner didn't even try to tear that, I guess we'll leave it as
I thought you'd
is.
given me a mouse pad.
That's what I thought.
Well,
looks like.
that concludes my briefing today. Thank you so much for your support as always, and we'll continue to help work and help our local communities, throughout the county to be successful. Mr. Chairman.
Commissioners, any questions for Mike?
Mr. Chairman, I just have to say, I enjoyed the luncheon. I enjoyed it. I had never been to Eastern's aviation program, very impressed with that. And thank you for having that. I think it was, everyone who went was impressed with the luncheon and with the aviation program. Thank you for the partnership. We appreciate it.
Our pleasure. The aviation program, as you may, I don't know if I wasn't on the tour. I got there a little bit late. I was tied up talking with Dr. Powell and some other folks. But the program itself has increased to 20 students, and they've hired 2 more instructors. I mean, it's growing. We should hear on the FAA grant that we worked with Eastern on to help attract even more people nationally into the program at Eastern. So hopefully we continue to ramp up those numbers and get more students in the program and get them into our workforce. So we're pretty encouraged by that. But thank you.
Commissioners, anything else? Mike, that piece of material right there is the perfect color that you could go ahead and put the EDC logo on there in white, and it would look really good. I had the opportunity to do a tour out at the airport with Senator Lujan yesterday, and part of the conversation that he and I had was about the CTE program and what we're doing right now here in Chaves County in the EDC. And for those, some people, you keep throwing out these letters and stuff. The CTE program for us old folks is vocational programs, okay? Your electrical and plumbing and aircraft and HVAC and all these other things. And he is 100% on board with our efforts on that. So if you have that opportunity to get in contact with the senator's office, he'll find some ways to help do the promotion on getting that done. We're at a loss right now. The jobs that Commissioner Dana is talking about, nobody's going out and getting jobs right now, but sooner or later, everybody's going to have to do that. And our vocational jobs out there are at a high need right now. And so I think the more we promote that and get back to where we were 25 years ago, the better off this country's going to be. Not only Chaves County and the city of Roswell, New Mexico, but the whole country. We got to get back to our roots, and so I really appreciate all the work that you're doing on that front, amongst all the others that you're working on for Chaves County. So thank you.
Thank you for that, Mr. Chairman. If I may, I know that you have a pretty good agenda, but let me be real brief on career tech education. There's some basic tenets behind it, and so to bring you up to speed, if you don't know already, the first is to create a career exploration inventory of each student in every school about the 6th grade level. Find out what their interests are through some assessment tools, and then move towards pushing kids in the right classes that are relevant to being successful in those careers. That's critical. So it's almost re-engineering education, the way counselors traditionally put kids in seats in classes. Instead of just filling a seat, they need to put them in the correct class seat so they can be successful and stay in school and graduate. That's really what it's all about. Because at the end of the day, sometimes you have to remind, in my mind, the education community that what they're doing is great in helping move people forward, but their goal is really to create a workforce. Right? It's get people ready for life after high school. And whatever we can do in the EDC to help that, we are on board. We're willing to do. We sponsored the big breakfast for those on Industry Day for all those folks. But I'll share with you that I'm encouraged by what I've seen and heard from all the independent school districts that we've met with, which is all 4 of them here in the county, that things are moving forward. And if we don't continue to work through that and career assess young people, get them in the right classes, and then link our industry partners throughout our county. So have people in business tell kids, the students, this is what it means to do this, And so we're going to have a spring industry day with business folks, and the students. And we're working those details out now. The last thing I want to say, Mr. Chairman, if I may take another 5 seconds, is, the aviation STEM event or expo that didn't happen last year because of COVID is scheduled to happen this year, we hope, October 14th. So just make you aware, it's just 2 months away. We're kind of concerned about COVID and where it's at, but we still plan to do that this year. We're part of the planning committee. So thank you again, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, for this morning's time.
Thank you, Mike. All right, Lewis. Come on down. Let's get this rodeo started.
Good morning, Chairman, Commissioners. Wanted to present a little presentation to you before we begin the public hearing process. This is in response to the recently approved Cannabis Regulation Act, also known as House Bill 2. Staff felt of an amendment to the Chavez County Zoning Ordinance number 7 to include Article 29 or 23, Cannabis Establishment. The Cannabis Regulation Act, in March of 2021, the New Mexico state legislation approved the Cannabis Regulation Act, known as the CRA. The CRA went into effect on June 29th, 2021. The CRA creates a comprehensive licensing, taxing, and enforcement regulatory structure for adult use cannabis in the state that will be administered by the Cannabis Control Division, which is located in the Regulation and Licensing Department. The CCD will administer the CRA and the licensing and regulation provisions of the medical cannabis program as well. That was created by the Lynn Aaron Compassion Use Act. Timelines set by the CRA are no later than September 1st, 2021, the CCD will accept and begin processing license applications for cannabis producers, cannabis producer microbusiness, and properly licensed medical cannabis producers. No later than January 1, 2022, the CCD will begin licensing cannabis training and education programs, issue cannabis service permits, and accept and process applications for all other license types. Last, no later than April 1st, 2022, retail sale of commercial cannabis will begin. Please understand that those are no later than. As it stated before, the act went into effect June 29th. All of these may, at their discretion, begin tomorrow. That's why we are in need of this regulation. Local jurisdictions, some of the things that the CRA put into effect. Local jurisdictions cannot prevent anyone properly licensed from transporting cannabis products on public roads. Completely prohibit the operation of cannabis licensees. Prohibit or limit signage identifying a business of cannabis establishment if it's attached to or located on the business premises. Require a cannabis establishment or cannabis consumption area to be located more than 300 feet from a school or daycare center that existed when the cannabis establishment or consumption area was licensed. Require an existing cannabis licensee to be relocated to a new premises. And finally, prohibit an adult New Mexican from producing homegrown cannabis. What they did allow local jurisdictions to do is local jurisdictions may adopt reasonable time, place, and manner rules that do not conflict with the CRA or the Dean Johnson Clean Indoor Act, including rules that reasonably limit the density of licenses or operating time consistent with neighborhood use. Also, allow for smoking, vaping, and ingesting of cannabis products within an indoor or outdoor cannabis consumption area on the licensed premises of a cannabis establishment. These places are limited to persons of 21 years of age or older and may be a minimum distance of 300 feet from a school or daycare facility. Zoning regulations NMSA 321-1 for the purpose of promoting the health, safety, and morale and the general welfare of the public. The Chavez County Board of Commissioners, being the zoning authority, may regulate and restrict within its jurisdiction the height, percentage of a lot that may be occupied, size of yards, courts, or open space, density of population, and location and use of buildings, structures, and land for trade, industry, residence, or other purposes. Article 23 is designed to protect the general welfare, safety, morale, and health of the public by utilizing the authority granted to us in the CRA and in Section 321(1) to 321-14. Provides permissible times of operation for retail and consumption areas. It provides a place for cannabis establishments to operate within a specific distance from public areas of interest such as schools, public parks, religious institutions, community centers, daycares, adult care, medical, and government facilities. Finally, it provides a manner for permitting cannabis establishments that require detailed information and performance standards from the applicant. An amendment to the Chavez County, New Mexico zoning ordinance number 7 to be known as revision number 11 to include Article 23, whereas the Cannabis Regulation Act was authorized a variety of uses related to the legalization of commercial cannabis activities, which legalization has the potential to greatly expand the legal cannabis market, and whereas the smoke of cannabis products may create a health risk due to exposure to secondhand smoke and vaporized cannabis concentrations, and whereas the Cannabis Regulation Act permits local jurisdictions to consider regulations on place, time, density, and manner for cannabis establishments, and whereas the Chavez County zoning ordinance number 7, revision 10, does not address cannabis establishments, and whereas section 3-21-1 through 3-21-14 of the New Mexico NMSA gives Chavez County zoning authority the right zoning authority to regulate zoning districts, land use, development standards, and structures designed over territories within the unincorporated area of Chavez County for the purpose of promoting health, safety, moral, and the protection of the general welfare of the residents in Chavez County. Whereas the Board of Chavez County Commissioners, forgive me, there's too many Chavez or counties in there. The New Mexico finds that it's necessary to protect the public health, safety, and welfare of the public for enacting provisions regulating cannabis establishments in Chavez County. Staff has some corrections to the originally published version of this Article 23, if I may present those.
Please do.
Starting on Section 2, 6th sentence down, the word Chavez should be included before county. Skip nothing on page 3. On page 4, cannabis testing laboratory. A person or facility that samples, or facility was added. Nothing on page 5. On page 6, section 4, letter H at the very bottom should read agricultural and residential districts and shall be required to comply with section 6 and 7 of this article. This was important to put this back in, that cannabis producers or growers need to be still at a specific distance as required other establishments. So if you are being a producer, you still need to be the 300 feet from schools and daycares and 1,000 feet from religious institutions, parks, and other items and uses that we listed in this. Section 5 on the same page, letter A, 4th sentence down, as stated in section 4H above. Next page on 7, again, this is where there's too many counties. The Chavez County Board of Commissioners, I just made that correction. Down in section 6B, second sentence should read religious institutions, not instructions. On to page 8, F of section 6, reasonable place cannabis establishments may be permitted in those specific zoning districts, which are commercial and industrial, and along those major corridors, which is Highway 70, Highway US 82, 285, 380, and State Road 2. Staff has no other corrections.
All right, Louis, thank you. You don't have anything else? Okay, this is, this is a public hearing, and so at this time, if there's anybody in the audience that is in favor of this amendment to the Chaves County zoning ordinance number 7, to be known as revision number 11, please come to the microphone if you're in favor of this, this amendment. And if you come to the microphone, please state your name and your address for the record. Anybody in favor? Alfredo, anybody out there?
They just want to see the presentation. I'm going to post it on the Facebook website.
Okay. One more time, anybody in favor? Going once, going twice. All right, anybody in the audience that is in opposition to this amendment to the Chaves County zoning ordinance number 7, to be known as revision number 11? Anybody in opposition? Anybody in opposition? I don't see anybody in the room rushing to the microphone. Alfredo, is there anybody out there? Or are they all waiting for the presentation also?
How about yes, but I'm not sure if it's an opposition or not.
Okay,
I'm waiting for a reply back.
okay.
In favor.
Okay. Anybody else out there that's in opposition of the amendment? All right. So, commissioners, questions, discussions on this amendment?
Lewis, on your definition of immature cannabis plant, I think the word "not" should be "no." A cannabis plant that has no observable flowers or buds, as opposed to "not."
That's actually in House Bill 2, so. Yes, we'll make that correction.
I didn't go to the legislature this year, so I would have caught it then.
Louis, while everybody's kind of looking through some of this stuff, you know, there's some misconception out there within the House Bill 2 that talks about a minimum of 300 feet from schools and daycares and stuff like that. Why not, if that's a minimum, why can't it be 1,000?
From our presentation from the Municipal League during a webinar, it was noted that that was a last-minute change or addition to the act by those, they didn't say who specifically, but that was the only agreement distance they could come up with daycares and those facilities, specifically schools and daycares at 300 foot. Currently, the drug-free zone is 1,000 feet, so it's unknown why.
So we're probably going to be coming back and amending this several times over the next few years.
Yes. We hope to be able to amend this many times over the next 5, 6 years as they get this straightened out.
Can you go back to the slide that had the limitations on the local jurisdictions,
Yes.
please?
See? It'll be the 4th slide. Yes. The cannots or the maze? And these, this listing came directly from the licensing department on their website.
And is that all the cannots?
Yes, sir.
And let me see the maze, please.
Next one. Next one.
Louis, real quick, how many other counties in the state of New Mexico are passing similar amendments or
All 33.
ordinances?
All 33 counties. We are sharing this similar documentation with McKinley, Lee, and Eddy. They do not have comprehensive zoning. Only 11 counties of the 33 have comprehensive zoning. Us, Donna Ana, and Bernalillo and Santa Fe, to name a few. So that gives us a lot more control and ability to regulate the establishments compared to other counties that do not.
Did you, did this pass in the ETZ commission meeting Tuesday night?
No, sir. The ETZ commission, it was not prepared in time for the ETZ commission to give a recommendation. Due to the deadlines, as we saw before, September 1st being when they'll begin licensing producers and so on and so forth, they may actually begin all licensing on September 1st at their will. So we would like to definitely get this amendment in, as stated on the last page, as an emergency clause and effective date. Because of the urgency and the need for regulation prudent to this article, the Chavez County Board of Commissioners declares that it is necessary for the public health, safety, and welfare that this article take effect immediately after passage, when it is recorded as part of the Chavez County, New Mexico zoning ordinance number 7, revision 11, in the Chavez County Clerk's office. In the event a court of component jurisdictions finds that the passage of this article did not constitute an emergency, then the effective date of this article shall be 30 days after the recording of the Chavez County, New Mexico zoning ordinance number 7, revision 11, in the Chavez County Clerk's office. We felt it was an emergency clause.
So our amendment here is going to be very similar to the city of Roswell's. And since the ETZ exists within city of Roswell and Chavez County, will what we've passed between the two local governments overlap each other, or?
We do have an amendment to the Roswell Chavez County extraterritorial zoning ordinance that will be going before them on August 31st at 5:30 p.m.
Okay.
The commission did, the commission did recommend approval on that one on Tuesday by a vote of 5-1. And the one wasn't against the construction of the ordinance or the amendment of the inclusion of the article, I'm sorry. She was adamant against the 300-foot and the limitations that the state put us on the 300-foot. That's the only reason.
Not much we can do about that, correct?
No, we cannot. Not at this time. We do hope that they see their error.
Come to their senses?
Yes.
Yeah.
And this will be a living document for the next, again, 3 to 5 years, we believe, as they make changes, as they make modifications each year. Maybe not in this 30-day session, but at least in 2 years when they have their 60-day session.
Right.
Mr. Chairman, I agree. I think it needs to be noted that with the timeline that we have, given House Bill 2, I think we're going to learn a lot over the years with House Bill 2, but in order to get something established, this gets it established, and we can revisit this as necessary. I believe we will be revisiting this because we saw it with the medical marijuana. I was in the House when the medical marijuana bill came up, and the first one was kind of thrown together, and then after that, they decided, okay, we'll go back to the drawing board. And it was a very reduced, I mean, there was only a few diseases that you could use, and it has expanded so much over the years. But I think you're going to see, especially with the municipalities and also counties, you know, I think I think this is going to be something probably brought up at our New Mexico Counties Convention coming up, because I requested it to be discussed too, because municipalities are going to have to deal with this and counties are going to have to deal with it. But with the urgency, and I'm thank you very much for having everybody always talks about a model, and you did. You had several models that we had out there, and we just kind of went through. And I think everybody's going to have models and kind of configure with their, each county and each municipality. So thank you very much for the time and energy that you're putting into this document. But it will be modified over the years as they modify House Bill 2. We can see that on the horizon, that's for sure. But I appreciate all your time.
Chairman,
because-
Commissioners, I
Yes.
have a board meeting tomorrow for the New Mexico League of Zoning Officials. Being on the board, I'm going to press on them to continue to expand that distance and encourage the municipal league to support us in expanding that distance and in including additional uses besides just the daycare and the schools.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I think a lot of people would appreciate that because this is an unknown territory for New Mexico. Really, it is. So, like I said, this isn't set in stone. It can be modified as things get modified. So I want people out there to know that there will be some modifications on it, that's for sure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Louis.
Lewis, section 4F says the smoking, vaping, ingesting, et cetera, shall not be permitted outdoors in public areas or events. Then 6D says the smoking, vaping, or ingesting of cannabis products shall not be permitted outdoors, period. And I thought the act allowed for a licensed cannabis
It allows us,
establishment to have an outdoor area.
from our understanding, it allows us to permit either an indoor or an outdoor. And in this case, we're only allowing an indoor facility with the proper ventilation and HVAC units to basically scrub the smoke or the smell so that it doesn't offend or doesn't affect the surrounding neighborhood.
So does 6D prevent someone from smoking cannabis on their back porch?
I see what you're saying.
If I look out the window and see my neighbor is having a toke over his barbecue grill, can I call Mike and have him arrested for violating 6D?
This is dealing with cannabis established permits. And all of these listed below A through F are dealing only with the cannabis establishments and not the homegrown or the residential use of.
Did the act, and I may just be remembering it wrong, I thought the act allowed up to 6 mature plants per
The act-
adult.
Sorry, Commissioner, Chairman. The act allows 12 plants per household, 6 mature and 6 immature. The reason that we needed to definitely define immature is so that it simply makes it easier to understand what mature is. So who's going to enforce that? We understand the CCD will be enforcing that. According to the House bill, there's also a fee for each plant that the homeowner will have to pay or is supposed to pay to the licensing and regulation division as part of this, as part of those 12 plants. I do not know the growth time of those plants. I do not understand the processing of it completely. I mean, the medical producer in Chavez County has been a great help to us to understand a lot of what goes on, but trying to keep all that in this ordinance was difficult.
Lewis, in reference to what Commissioner Dana was saying about the changes that we're going to see, I'm hoping that the League of Municipalities and others that are going to be a part of kind of changing this thing up are going to be hearing the common comments, concerns that everybody has expressed, everything from distance to some of these other issues, and that somewhere along the line, like I said earlier, the common sense will come into play and to fix some of these initial issues that they rushed to get this deal passed in a special session. So you're just going to have to stay on top of it.
I don't know what to say.
That was a statement. That wasn't a question. I'm just.
One thing that I found is that they have not completed their regulation process. I believe there's state statute, and then there's, forget, Mr. Ezell, Commissioner Ezell, what is the other process? Whereby the health department has rules and regulations for those. They have not completed those. They're still in draft form, which does give us a little bit of time. But in it, it does verify that a zoning requirement will be necessary for a licensee, similar to the medical. Administrative, thank you.
Sheriff, while the commissioners are dwelling on this, from a law enforcement perspective, do you have any input on what we're doing here today?
I just want to say I do appreciate in the stuff that Lewis has done, that it does include the schools. I do believe 300 feet is ridiculous. In a sense, that's just 300 steps. Actually, not even steps, hill to toe, 300 hill to toe. So the distance from a school or a daycare, that is not enough to me. And I do believe that needs to at least be 1,000 feet. But as you said, that's something that's going to have to go through the process and be worked out, and hopefully they'll get that done sooner than later. Because that allows drug dealers to sit on the corner, or people who are selling this that shouldn't be selling this outside of the establishments, to be sitting on the corners of schools or other establishments, and we don't want that. So I do agree with this, that he is trying to push through.
Chairman and Commissioners, the law enforcement part of passing this bill has not been addressed by the state legislators, as you all know. The DWI, DUI, possession over a certain amount has not been addressed by them. And so we hope that in this 30-day legislation that they do address that for our law enforcement, local and county.
The Commissioners, Chairman, One of the things, I just got back from the sheriff's conference, and one of the things that was addressed about this is that the driving while under the influence of marijuana, they don't know how long this actually is in your system. In most people, you know, it varies. So you can have it in your blood if it is a felony level DWI, but to blow, you don't get any results. So unless you have somebody who's at a felony level, or you see them actually smoking marijuana and show the signs, this is going to be a very hard case to prosecute, and it has put a lot of people, in my opinion, at risk because of that. So hopefully the labs will come up with a better testing process, but right now, to even get a search warrant, it has to be felony level DWI. So that's going to be impossible to prove most of these cases.
Well, I when we get to the point, what was that date? April 1st of 2022?
At the latest.
At the latest. I mean, there's probably not many people in this room who haven't bought tamales from little old ladies or families that are running around selling tamales. And this deal, the black market with the marijuana, I mean, those little old ladies may be selling cookies and brownies and what other edibles. Don't raise your head back there, Rita, because I know that you don't sell your stuff, you just give it away. But it's gonna be a tough deal for our law enforcement and everybody else, and I mean, it just is, so.
There were two young ladies who did a presentation at the Roswell City Council event, and they physically measured the distance from the boundary, the property line of Roswell High, 300 feet, which ended up at Novia's, just down the street on Hobbs. That's about 300 feet. The old donut shop, as Mike and I remember.
Yes.
Mike, quite another question. I mean, obviously, you know, we've just, it's like someone not knowing how to swim and being thrown into the swimming pool, and you got to figure it out. But, you know, we've had other states, California, Washington, Oregon, Nevada, Colorado, that have all passed this. How are their law enforcement in those states dealing with this?
Chairman, Commissioners, they are still having the same issues that we're having right now. Even though they've been doing this for a while, there is still no true testing that can be done to show when you consume that alcohol, the marijuana, and if you're driving impaired, and we can smell it on you, we don't know, he could have done it at home earlier. You know, he wasn't doing it while he was driving. It could have been just the smell or whatever. So they're having a lot of difficulties with the lab. The other thing that we are seeing is the mental health illnesses that are coming from what they believe that to be the use of marijuana. So the marijuana is passed and legalized, but now the cities and counties are having to come up with the money to deal with the mental illness sides of it, the domestic violence sides of things, different types of crimes that are occurring, as well as our younger generation under the age of 21 getting a hold of it at home and using it more frequently. And so it's been it's something that has been going on for a while. You know, marijuana use isn't new to us, but we do know that once you put it out there and legalize it, more people have access to it than if you don't know the local marijuana dealer right now, you know, you're not gonna get it. If you have it to where they're selling it everywhere, not everywhere, but the places that are allowed to sell it, that's easy access, and then it's at home, and kids are getting it, and more things are, we just believe that it's gonna be a big problem, and we've seen that from Colorado, we've seen that from some other areas, and the state believed they were gonna make a lot of money off of this, and in turn, they're spending it back on mental health and other treatment, rather than making money.
Well, and you talked about the fact that you may pull someone over and you could smell it if they've been smoking it, but you're not gonna smell it if they've just eaten 4 chocolate chip cookies or brownies or gummy bears or any number of the things that they're going to
That's correct.
use to put that into. So it's going to be a tough situation for our law enforcement and our businesses, okay? Because you got people who are going to come to work, and the drug testing that you send someone off, the teachers, truck drivers, whoever, and they have to go do their tests, and it comes back, well, you sit there and say, well, I just had a good weekend, but I didn't come to work on Wednesday because it's still in my system. So it is truly the Pandora's box of our generation right now with legalizing it and everything, and we're just going to have to manage it, do the best we can to deal with it. And it's going to be like getting put on that bull and pulling the chute open and say, hold on.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question. You brought up something that was very interesting. At these establishments, I don't know, Louis, somebody, you have to have an alcohol server's license in order to serve. Do you have to have, if you work in an establishment, do you know if those rules are in place?
That was on your,
Correct. Yes,
on one of your
according
slides.
to,
They've got until January 1st, I think, to come up
Right.
with the regs for cannabis server
Okay,
permits.
okay, so just kind of wondering, interesting. Seems like we've got more regulations for alcohol than we do this, at this point.
the ETZ Commission requested information that I'm not able to provide currently is who's going to enforce all of these rules? Are they going to break it down per district? Are they going to break it down per city? How is the CCD going to be enforced, or how is their enforcement going to look? We don't know. We really don't have a clue. They are still a licensing division, which is also part of our building code, part of our manufacturing code, part of our LP code, which is our gas. So I don't know. We don't know. They haven't
Right.
disclosed that information.
Well, and one of the other concerns that I've heard in it is the advertising. And anybody who's driven from the Texas state line, Tatum, wherever, coming into Roswell, they see a big sign outside of town, wanting you to stop by so you can pick up a few buds to have with your friends and stuff. But there's really not anything that we can do about that at this particular stage as far as signage and advertising. As much as people would like for us to do that, we don't have that authority.
And I have concern for alcohol licensees, those that may be vaping there on their premises, or racetracks. We don't know what's going on. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Chairman, Commissioners, one of the things I wanted to add is they already have beer that has marijuana.
Laced
added.
into it?
Yeah, laced into it. So you have a double whammy, if you want to say that. So that's something that we're also seeing soon to be coming out. Once all this passes, they'll be able to start putting that out as well. So.
Can there be an outdoor cannabis consumption area.
Yes, we can allow for outdoor cannabis establishment. We can allow for it if we choose.
Give me an example of what that would be.
Oh, gosh. It's going to be a standalone facility that they're basically just going to be outside smoking it. I don't see any ventilation process or ability to control that smell. That's why we wanted to regulate it to indoor only, so that they do have to have those HVAC systems to scrub the smell. I don't know how far that smell will wander. We don't know how much of effect it'll have, what secondhand smoke effect it'll have on the nearby residents. So it's something that we could do possibly, maybe commercial industrial, maybe with a special use. But what we do is we may be affecting the surrounding neighbors by limiting or affecting them in a certain way that they're not wanting.
Well, if a cannabis establishment cannot allow smoking outdoors under 6D, I'm wondering if the definition of cannabis consumption area should be an indoor area where cannabis products may be served and consumed. I don't think we're intending to do anything to prohibit someone's use on their private property. But if we're talking, if 6D applies to licensed cannabis establishments, then it seems like there can't be an outdoor consumption area.
I get you.
And if that's the case, then the definition of a cannabis consumption area should say indoors.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner agreed cannabis consumption area indoors with cannabis products can be served.
Or, yeah, or an indoor area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I'd like to remind you that Attorney Riggs and P&Z Director Lewis will make these changes, whatever changes you have, and the ordinance that you sign or the amendment to the ordinance that you sign will have those in place, assuming that you were to pass this.
Listen, I'm assuming on what Commissioner Ezel's contemplating on D, when you get into F, and it talks about establishments may be permitted in commercial and industrial zoning districts located along following roads and highways as designated in the last Chaves County Comprehensive Master Plan industrial corridors, US Highway 70, US 82, Highway 85, US 380, State Road 2. Way back, when there was always the Pioneer Tavern up here on Highway 70, the halfway bar down here going to south, and then different places out of the town, out of the city limits. And I'm assuming that these, talking about the places where they could smoke, if someone decided where the old Pioneer Tavern was on Highway 70 up there to put in the Pioneer Cannabis Shop, you know, and these would apply the same. They would have to do it indoors, not outdoors.
Yes, it would all be indoors.
All indoors, which would put more, whoever's supposed to enforce that, they'll have to go around and check that, I guess. But I don't know that would ever happen, but it happened back in the day, so history seems to repeat itself. It might be.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Taylor?
on section 7, paragraph A, talks about the owners. Of course, it has the applicant, all persons owning an interest of 10% or more in the cannabis establishment, including all the owners, individuals having a corporate or partnership interest. And then down here it clarifies, it says, if it is a business entity, the officers and directors. Maybe that should also include the officers, directors, and owners. So that we don't, so it includes all silent partners. I don't know whether the preceding sentence covers that or not. Calder, what do you think? Should that be expanded a little bit?
If you're looking at corporate or partnership ownership, this would not require the
Also, how about trusts?
disclosure of any owner of the entity of less, if they own less than 10%.
Also, expand that maybe to include trusts and LLCs.
I hate to do this to you, Louis, but business entity is not a defined term.
Yeah, Calder, one of the things I can see, it talks about a 10% interest, so I could see 9.9% interest, and you could have a family. Everybody in the family has 9.9, 9.9, and none of them are disclosed. That the 10% interest would be 10% include all families grouped together or something.
If 4D prohibits a cannabis establishment from being a home occupation, why does 7B say the applicant shall specify whether the land use will include a single-family dwelling unit on the same lot or parcel?
In our zoning ordinance, residential dwellings are allowed as an accessory structure in commercial or industrial. But it is an accessory to the commercial business or an accessory to the industrial business. But we do want to know if there is a residence on there.
How does our zoning ordinance define home occupation?
Anything that is not a nuisance to the neighbors, and then it gives a, forgive me, I don't have my book with me. But it's a secondary use of a home that is not noticeable by the neighbors, does not affect the neighbors in any way. Thank you. And then in speaking with some of the co-ops in the surrounding area, it's understood that their current residential meter system is for residential and will not be for agricultural water, for farming, such as Greenfield, Hagerman, Dexter, Lake Arthur. That is not in this ordinance, but that is clear as part of their regulations, that it is not, their water and their metering system is not meant for agricultural use, only residential. In the ETZ, it's the city of Roswell and Berendo. Question, Chairman, Commissioners. Commissioner Taylor, were you wanting to include owners in section 7A, number 3, as the last reading? It is, if it is a business entity, the officers, directors, and owners? Is that what you were requesting as an amendment?
I think what Commissioner Taylor was getting at is if we were to define a business entity as anything other than a sole proprietorship, then you would have to disclose the officers, directors, trustees, managers for LLCs, members for LLCs.
Something a little bit more inclusive.
So, forgive me, Chairman, Commissioners, Commissioner Ezell, you would consider a definition for business entity, which would allow that to be expanded further?
Yeah, you could define business entity as being anything other than individual ownership or a sole proprietorship. So that would pick up corporations, LLCs, trusts.
Forgive me, Commissioner, what was the last one? Sole propriety and what? Anything other than a sole proprietary or,
Well, anything other than individual ownership or a sole proprietorship. Because
Commissioner Ezell, on the 10%, I wonder if we could word that word 10% of a family, a group, or a group. In other words, like I was saying, 9.9 with 7 members of the same family, you may end up with 60 or 70% of controlled ownership. And then they're not disclosed. Like,
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, the 10% number is just a number that has been kicked around by other ordinances that we looked at. So if you could lower that, like, that's really kind of a number that the entities have.
do we even have to put a percent in there, just that all members?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's up to you, however you want to have it.
I'd say strike the 10%, just put all owners.
all persons owning an interest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree, because they could be 5%, they'd be 4.9.
Okay.
It's not gonna matter what, that's an issue.
I could see, somebody they put 9% in their wife's name, the husband's name, and other members of the family that are over 21, and it's not disclosed.
so it shall read, number 2, all persons owning an interest in the cannabis establishment, including all individuals having a corporate or partnership interest,
Yep.
et cetera, et cetera.
That'd be good.
Okay.
And if it is a business entity, the officers, directors, members, managers, trustees. Am I omitting?
I think that covers it.
Louis, how many times do you think just in the next year, do you think that we're going to be amending this document? I mean, that's,
Possibly every 2 years, about every 60-day session. That's when they'll probably address it, unless it's an emergency.
right. And if we could even, after this meeting and we submit it and everything, we could end up amending this deal in our next meeting.
Correct. Kevin, who is the Roswell Community Development Director, has already considered amendments to theirs that just passed earlier this month. So yes, there will be amendments after amendment to this.
Well, it's a very thorough piece of work, but I'm sure it cannot possibly have anticipated
Yes, sir.
every situation. So we might as well resolve ourselves to the fact that somebody will figure out a loophole or come up with a way to scam it that we'll have to come back and fix.
Yeah. I think there's no doubt about that, Commissioner.
And Mr. Chairman, I think that I know my fellow commissioners well enough that no one will be willing to be the guy that moved its approval. So I move approval of amendment to Chaves County zoning ordinance number 7 to be known as revision number 11, in the interest of this meeting ever coming to an end.
As amended?
As corrected and
As
amended.
corrected and amended?
Yeah.
Okay. Second, Mr. Chairman.
And Sheriff, will you allow me to bite on one of your bullets?
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Zell and a second by Commissioner Dana to approve Agenda Item 1, amendment to the Chaves County zoning ordinance number 7 to be known as Revision 11, as corrected and amended. Any further questions or discussions on this? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Passes unanimously. Louis, thank you. All the hard work on this
Yeah,
deal.
thank you, Lewis.
Commissioners, thank you for doing your due diligence to make sure that we get this as right as we can for the moment. But like I said, I'm sure we're going to be coming back to this more than 2 or 3 times while I'm still a commissioner. All right. Miss Ellie.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, County Commissioners. As to agenda item number 2, ratification of agreement A-21-041 between Chavez County and the New Mexico Transportation Traffic Safety Division. The Chavez County LDWI program would like the ratification approval for the fiscal year 22 agreement between Chavez County and NMDOT. The amount awarded for fiscal year 22 is $13,955. This amount will partially pay for one of the DWI court compliance officers. The term of this agreement will be from July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022. Staff recommends approval.
Commissioners, any questions for Ms. Ellie?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve ratification of agreement A-21-041 between Chavez County and the New Mexico Transportation Traffic Safety Division.
Second.
A motion by Commissioner Dana and a second by Commissioner Bilberry to approve agenda item 2, which is the ratification of agreement A-21-041 between Chavez County and the New Mexico Transportation Traffic Safety Division. Any further questions or discussions on this? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. George, come on down.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. This morning, we're asking for ratification of approval for Agreement A-21-044 between Chavez County and the New Mexico Aging and Long-Term Services for an emergency appropriation in the amount of $17,131 for the purchase and installation of commercial kitchen equipment for the Chavez County Joy Centers. Staff recommends approval.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Bilberry.
I recommend approval of the ratification agreement A-21-044 between Chavez County and New Mexico Aging and Long-Term Services for appropriation of A-21-G129 emergency appropriations for the funding in the amount of $17,131 for the purchase and installment, purchase and installation of commercial kitchen equipment at the Hagerman Joy Center.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Bilberry and a second by Commissioner Taylor to approve agenda item 3, which is the ratification of agreement A-21-044 between Chavez County and New Mexico Aging and Long-Term Services for appropriation A-21-G129, an emergency appropriation of funding in the amount of $17,131 for the purchase and installation of commercial kitchen equipment at the Hagerman Joy Center. Any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Passes unanimously. Thank you for getting me out of that one.
Thank you.
Miss Charlotte, come on down.
Good morning, Mr. Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Agenda item number 4 is Resolution R-21-041, authorizing suspending the minimum penalty requirements of the property tax code. Basically, because our tax collections are over 99%, we feel it is unnecessary to add an additional minimum penalty to those taxpayers that have bills that are $100 or less. And we've continue to do this year after year to eliminate that minimum penalty, and staff recommends approval.
Commissioners, any questions for Ms. Charlotte?
What's the duration of the suspension?
This would be for the next tax year, for 2021.
Is this one of the ones that Commissioner Corn always voted against?
Mr. Chairman, yes, that's correct.
Mr. Chairman, I do have a question. Since 2020 was such a weird year anyway, are we still running at a basically 99% on our taxes paid?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner, yes, we are, our 10-year collection average is 99.19%. So currently, we have collected about, I think for this year, we have 1.2 million still outstanding, which we are working to aggressively collect those delinquent accounts.
But you didn't see any large problems last year with the pandemic?
Commissioner, no, actually, our tax collections were even higher than they were the previous years. So I don't know, it was pretty interesting that, we were tracking that, and our tax collections were higher than they were in the previous 2 or 3 years prior to the pandemic. So interestingly, I don't know if it was the stimulus, but we had quite a few people come in and bring their accounts current. Good. Although we still have those, those taxpayers that understand the property tax code and they realize they can skate not paying for 3 years until, they're down to the wire. And, of course, once the property becomes 3 years delinquent, then the state can come in and auction that for delinquent property taxes.
Mr. Chairman and Charlotte, have they been doing, I haven't seen where the state's been doing any property auctions lately.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner, we just were advised that the next tax sale will be tentatively set for November 18th. I know that's a commission meeting day, so we are looking at possibly holding it outdoors in the hallway, and I would opt for possibly reserving the sheriff's training office training room so that we could hold that auction. I know they are limiting the number of parcels that we will be auctioning, and I think because they are required to do it every year, we have 33 counties, and they are kind of pressed for time. We're going to be limited to 10 parcels. Normally, we have 65 to 140, and this year we will only have 10.
How will you determine which 10?
Which county?
No,
Or
which 10
account?
accounts?
Once we turn over our list to the state, excuse me, then the state will come in and work all of those delinquent accounts. They will try and bring those accounts current, establish perhaps a payment agreement with the taxpayer, and those that remain unpaid up to that date the top 10 will be up for auction. And like I said, we do have those taxpayers that understand the property tax code, and they know they can wait that 3rd year and come in 5 p.m. the day before the auction and bring their account current.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of Resolution R-21-041.
Second.
Second.
Jeff beat you to it, Commissioner Taylor. We have a motion by Commissioner Zell and a second by Commissioner Bilberry to approve Agenda Item 4. It's a Resolution R-21-041 authorizing suspending the minimum penalty requirements of the property tax code. Any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Passes unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Quick question for you, and back to Commissioner Zell's questions. Have we put forth that property on Bland that the city has condemned as part of that collection with the state?
The city properties?
The city has condemned the property. It was an old trailer park that's between Nancy Lopez Elementary and XL Energy. They shut it down because you had a lot of folks that were, and you had some guy who was collecting collecting rent that didn't own the property. And so the city has gone and cleaned the whole thing up, but it's been delinquent for who knows. My understanding is they don't know or can't find whoever owned the property, so whoever the landlord was collecting, but it's no longer in that situation. And so I'm hoping that for the benefit of the school district, that we get that hopefully to the top of that list of auctioning off that property.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, those properties have been listed on the list that we have to provide, or we have to record by July 1st of every year. We have quite a few, so it would be up to the state at this point to determine which accounts they are going to be collecting on.
Well, and I guess my question is hoping to make sure that that property was in that before July 1st sent to them.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, it was.
Okay. Other question, it's been 3 years now that we had the escrow debacle, up to 3 years. Are all those folks that got caught up in that, are they in good shape? I mean, I hate for the way that deal went, for them to be having repercussions from it.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, yes, all of the escrow accounts have been transitioned over to other escrow companies, and for the majority, CNC Escrow did assume all of those accounts. I know that is still going through litigation as far as, the Roswell Escrow itself, but yes, all of the accounts have been brought current and are being handled by another escrow company.
Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Miss George, come on down again.
As I trip and fall. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. We're asking for approval of Resolution R-21-042, adopting the Chaves County 2023-2027 Infrastructure Capital Improvements Plan, also known as the ICIP. Staff recommends approval.
Commissioners, any discussion, questions on this?
Regina, I did look at that, so thank you for putting that in there where you can tell exactly what departments are asking for.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Commissioners, I know we've had a lot of discussion about the different ICIPs, and I know we still have $5 million that we're asking for that's not in the top 10 for the airport stuff that we started a couple of years ago. And I'm just wondering if we should consider at least putting that back into the top 10 so that if and when we finally get that project started, that we have the funds to finish. I know part of that was of a great asset to get the Ascent program going, but that pulled away $3 million of that $5 million that we did get from the state. And I know that the ability to get that infrastructure done, at least to the east side of the airport where Mystic's at, and what's the, Avex? Avex. Not to mention the residents that live further to the east. And so I just didn't know if the commissioners would consider at least moving that up into the top 10. And we do have a celebrity in the audience today. I won't ask for any comment from you, Counselor.
What would you recommend moving out of the top 10?
That's what I was.
Well, I think we're still, I think we're still a ways off, as much as I don't want to pull that back from the top 10 for Sheriff Harrington. But the FATS machine is that a $75,000
Yes, Mr. Chairman, it's $75,000, and it wouldn't actually be able to take effect until once we move dispatch out of the location. That's where we're planning to put it. On another note, we are encouraged to only present to the legislators our top 5 rankings. And so if we were to put it in the top 10, that's great, but when it comes time to present it to the legislators, we may want it to be in the top 5, so we may want to move like the TPO out of the top 5 if you choose to move it up that far.
Does this tell us what the top 10 are anywhere?
They're in order?
They're in
Mr.
order
Commissioner?
on the first page.
He put a spreadsheet together that's got the top 10 in it.
There's also a tab itemizing the top 10 on the Excel spreadsheet that I emailed you that makes it a little clearer for you to see.
And that's what I did.
Yes, a lot.
So what you're saying, Mr. Chairman, is move that 5 million up into the top 5? Is that what you're?
No, I think that if we move it up into the top 10, and by word of mouth with our legislators, I'm not sure that we get it through the legislative process when we got the last $5 million that came out of the governor's office. So if we put it in our top 10, she sees that that's something that we are putting it as a necessity. I mean, the top 5 that we have, I think, are what we need to be asking our legislators to fight for us. But as far as the other $5 million for the airport, I think everybody would agree that the Air Center, even though it's owned by the city of Roswell, I mean, if the county can assist in getting some money to continue with the infrastructure out there, that is the proverbial diamond in the rough for Chavez County and for southeastern New Mexico. And so if we put that at least in our top 10, I think that shows the governor that we're looking for that growth and that infrastructure build. And everybody I know has paid attention to the census numbers for 10 years later, and I think Chavez County dropped 400 or 500. City of Roswell dropped around 900, just to give or take a few people. But if we want to see the growth that is possible for Chavez County, southeastern Mexico, City of Roswell, it's going to be right out there at the Air Center. And so getting that infrastructure, I think, to the east side, I heard a lot of conversation yesterday with Senator Lujan. I think we're going to be getting money from the infrastructure, 1.5 trillion or whatever they passed. This is going to be of assistance out there. But there on the east side of the airport, I think the back shops and the things that are all part of this deal, I just think it's necessary for us to push through on that deal. Not to mention the fact that I don't want to leave the city hanging with getting the project started and having the city having to foot the bill to finish the project. So if we can get that money.
They get so mad at us when we.
Commissioner Zell, thank you. But I think that in this particular case, last year, some of the city councilors, the mayor, were upset that we asked for another $5 million. But I think that that's gone by now, and I think everybody sees the benefits of us working together on that project out there. Even though Chaves County doesn't own the property, it is still an asset as far as resources and jobs for Chaves County in southeastern New Mexico. So that's why I'd like to see it at least moved up into the top 10.
Well, make it so.
All right.
If the schedule accelerates and the sheriff needs the fax machine, Annabelle can find 75 grand in her sleep.
I would agree with you on that. Yes. No. All right. Georgianne, move it up into the top 10.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I agree. We started this project, and also, as we heard from the Airport Advisory Committee, if we invest in this diamond in the rough, they will come. So I think the county is showing that we're putting this as a priority, and we're doing our part. So I agree with that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for doing that.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Taylor.
I would agree also. I think, the fact is that our economic growth has not been there. We got census numbers that for the last 10 years we've dropped. You just look around, we just have not brought in new businesses with high number of jobs. And that's what we've got to do. And I think, like, as you stated, Mr. Chairman, that has the most potential out there for development and bringing in the needed jobs so that this city and this county can grow, and we don't have in the next 10 years stagnant growth like we've had this past 10 years.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Chairman, I move approval of Resolution R-21-042, adopting the Chaves County 2023 through 2027 ICIP.
Mr. Chairman, second, as amended.
I have a motion from Commissioner Zell and a second from Commissioner Dana to approve Agenda Item 5, Resolution R-21-042, adopting the Chaves County 2023-2027 Infrastructure Capital Improvements Plan as amended, with moving the $5 million for our Roswell Industrial Air Center, $5 million. Any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, agenda item number 6 is for Resolution R-21043. This resolution acknowledges that the Chaves County Board of Commissioners supports Congresswoman Yvette Harrell's initiative protecting Americans from unnecessary spread upon entry, known as the PAWS Act of 2021.
You go ahead and read.
Staff recommends approval.
Oh, yeah.
Can we do that right now?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Resolution number R-21-048, a resolution supporting the PAWS Act of 2021.
043.
043, sorry. Thank you.
You need 2 paragraphs.
I do. I'm already having trouble. Whereas COVID-19, a respiratory disease that can result in serious illness of death, is a new strain of coronavirus that has not been previously identified in humans and can be spread from person to person via a variety of methods, and whereas each day new variants of this virus are reportedly spreading from both vaccinated and unvaccinated persons, and whereas local, state, and federal agencies, including the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, the Department of Homeland Security, Department of Health and Human Services, the World Health Organizations, and others have deemed this virus a pandemic and the cause of countless deaths, worldwide pandemic, and the economic instability, and whereas government officials have mandated state and federal lockdowns, stay-at-home orders, curfews, travel restrictions, school closures, mandating testing, vaccinations due to the virus, subsequently public health emergencies, and whereas there is an immigration crisis on the border of the United States and Mexico, and thousands of immigrants from Central and South America and other countries around the world entering the United States illegally, and whereas the federal government has been transporting and moving large numbers of undocumented immigrants into countries and communities without regard for the risk of those communities, and whereas the CDC's Title 42 has been an effective containment and mitigation strategy resulting in the reduction and introduction of COVID-19 in the United States from outside our borders, and to permanently rescind this order would further endanger the lives of the American people and the immigrants themselves, and whereas each day there are increasing threats to local, state, federal governments to reinstate restrictions that would adversely impact the ability of the hard-working Americans to return to work and regain economic stability, and whereas it would be fundamentally unfair to keep American citizens on lockdown while allowing unfettered enter into the border. Now, therefore it be resolved, the Board of County Commissioners of Chaves County support the Protecting Americans from Unnecessary Spread Upon Entry Pause Act of 2021. Let it further be resolved, the Board of Chaves County Commissioners agree that the Pause Act requires Title 42 to remain in effect until 1. All state and federal lockdowns, stay-at-home orders, curfews, and other COVID-19 mandates end. 2. All local, state, and federal public health emergencies for COVID-19 end. 3. The Center of Disease Control and Prevention, CDC's travelers' health risk levels from Canada and Mexico is reduced to level 1. Done this day, 19th day of August 2021.
Thank you for that, Commissioner Bilberry. This is an act that Representative Harrell has put forth in Congress, and I think it's extremely important for us to all get on board with what we have going on at the southern border, and including our Delta variant and COVID stuff. So I'm glad that we got this resolution put together, and I think it's important for us to pass.
Mr. Chairman, I recommend we adopt Resolution R-21-043, resolution supporting the Pause Act of 2021.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Bilberry and a second by Commissioner Zell to approve Agenda Item 6, Resolution R-21-043, the resolution in support of the Pause Act of 2021. Any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Passes unanimously. Ms. Lucia.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. Agenda item number 7 is Resolution R-21-044, which is a deletion of property and proposed disposition. Your approval of this resolution will allow staff to remove the attached inventory. Exhibit A has all the assets listed. Staff recommends approval.
Commissioners. So it's a pretty small list this month.
It is. Since we're doing this every month, the list gets smaller and smaller. So.
We're not cleaning out any more closets.
So does the font.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Do you need my glasses?
Oh, Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the Resolution R-21-044, deletion of property and proposed disposition.
Second.
A motion by Commissioner Dana and a second by Commissioner Zell to approve Agenda Item 7, Resolution R-21-044, deletion of property and proposed disposition. Any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Miss Susan, don't inhale when you walk up there.
Yeah, really. Good morning, Chairman, Commissioners. Resolution R-21045 is the resolution incorporates the personnel upgrades, modifications, additions, and the revised charts approved in the final budget for fiscal year 21-22. The charts have been changed to reflect the budget adjustments. Staff recommends approval.
Commissioners, any questions for Miss Susan?
Mr. Chairman, I move we adopt Resolution R-21-045, approving changes to personnel charts.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Dana, second by Commissioner Bilberry to approve Agenda Item 8, which is Resolution R-21-045, approving changes to the personnel charts. Any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Susan. Louis, I thought you were tired of this already.
Chairman, Commissioners, before us is Agenda Number 9, appointment to the Roswell-Chavez County Extraterritorial Zoning Commission for a one-year term. Planning and Zoning would like to reappoint would ask that you reappoint the current county representatives that are serving on the Roswell-Chavez County Extraterritorial Zoning Commission for another 1 year. Staff recommends the reappointment of Royce Pancho Maples, Rita Kane Dorhofer, and Michael C. Lackey, each to serve 1-year term on the ETZ Commission.
Commissioners, any questions, any statements, any?
Mr. Chairman, I recommend approval of appointments of the Roswell-Chavez County Extraterritorial Zoning Commission terms for 1 year for Royce Pancho Maples, Rita Kane Dorhofer, and Michael C. Lackey to serve 1-year term for the ETZ Commission.
Second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Bilberry and a second by Commissioner Zell to approve Agenda Item 9, the appointments to the Roswell-Chavez County Extraterritorial Zoning Commission for a 1-year term. And those would be Royce Pancho Maples, Rita Kane Dorhofer, and Michael C. Lackey. Commissioners, any further questions or discussion? Are we sure we want to put Rita on there again?
Yes.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Passes unanimously. Okay, who's spending money today?
Oh, man.
Come on, Dara.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve checks in the in the amount of $2,081,126.50.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Dana and a second by Commissioner Taylor to approve the checks to the sum of $2,081,126.50. Any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Passes unanimously. Approval of reports.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve reports.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Dana and a second by Commissioner Zell to approve the reports. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Passes unanimously. All right. Bill Williams, you're up.
Did you want to have unscheduled communications?
Okay, we'll do that. Right, I know, I was trying to skip over Rita, but unscheduled communications limited to 3 minutes per visitor, not to exceed 15 minutes no formal action be taken by the commission. Come on. No, come on. I was just teasing about that. I missed it. No? Okay, Mike Harrington. Please state your name and address for the record.
I'm Mike Harrington, 402 South Birch. But I'm up here to introduce you today to my newest deputy, Chris Brosomely, and I would like him to come up here and let you see who he is. Glad to have him aboard.
Chairman, council members, my name's Christopher Brosomely. I live at 2512 North Cambridge Avenue here in Roswell, and I'm the new addition to Chavez County Sheriff's Department.
Awesome.
Oh,
Well, thank you for being here. I
Thank
think
you. Welcome aboard.
I think you live around the corner from me. Okay. I'll keep an eye out. I won't be speeding, I won't be speeding down Cambridge. Yeah. All right.
His neighbor lights up the neighborhood every holiday season.
Halloween,
So,
Christmas,
Christmas.
4th
Yeah,
of July.
That's the one.
Yes.
All right.
Well, they compete because over one street over on Michigan, J.R. Miho is trying to keep up with them. I'm glad I'm not young like those guys anymore because then I would be part of the party. Come on, Rita, you got to come up here.
How many skunks?
At least talk baseballs or.
Okay, Mike says I shouldn't. But I did kill a skunk this morning.
I have pictures to prove it.
Well, you were in Fuego earlier, so I figured you'd be up here, so. Okay, good. Brado, we have anybody out there in Facebook land that has any comments or anything? Joe, I'd ask you to come up and get a report, but I'm going to get more than that this afternoon, so anyway. Everybody else, anybody else, words of wisdom? Cindy? Oh, okay.
What elections do we have coming up, Cindy?
The local election, November 2nd.
And that is?
School boards, college board, soil and water districts, Dexter Hagerman, Lake Arthur Municipality. I believe that's it.
Filing
Cool.
date?
Next Tuesday,
Mm.
4th, from 9 to 5.
Okay.
Good.
By 5 p.m.? Okay. Good, thank you. All right, Bill Williams, now you're up.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I just really want to reach out and thank all the hard work, or thank Lewis and his department for all the hard work that went into the amendment to our zoning ordinance for the cannabis regulations, and thanks to Stan for reviewing all that stuff and making sure that we didn't accidentally write something wrong, because we know for a fact that we have an attorney who will notice it and correct it. So thank you for making sure we don't do that. Want to thank the Jennifer Smith, Diane Taylor, all the hard work that went into the Health Expo a couple of weekends ago. Juliana and Main Street helped them out a lot. The sheriff, of course, helped them, the health department. Everybody just came together, and it really was an example of a great event where we all work together for the good of the community and to let people know what's going on. As you mentioned, Mr. Chairman, we're meeting, the road committee will be meeting with us this afternoon. We've done many road repairs and accomplished a lot of priorities over the last 60 days or so. Flooding's happened. Every day their priorities change. They have to take the highest priorities and correct those first, and then go back down through all the roads that need repairs, the weeds that need cut. We get more and more calls each day. But anyway, they've done a real good job. And then, like I say, this weekend, additional 6 inches of rain happened down the Boot Hill, which changed priorities again. And I want to thank them for all the hard work they've been doing. The staff has just been great, making sure that when the police comes down, before I ever contact them, they're already down there putting out barrels and making sure that the public's safe. Do a really good job of that. And we're going to meet with them this afternoon and discuss some priorities and how to move forward with a lot of the stuff that we have there. During the meeting, Commissioner Cavan, you handed me your phone. It was Senator Hurdle, and he asked that the commissioners make themselves bring themselves up to date, be current on the stuff that's going on currently with vaccination status and nurses being laid off, and then the hospital's inability to handle patients because they don't have enough nurses. He would like for you guys to take a stand on that, to at least educate yourselves on what's happening, and he'll be in contact with you guys. That's all that I have. I'm very thankful that we got this meeting over with, and look forward to this afternoon's short meeting. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill. Commissioner Taylor.
What changing times we have. I never thought we'd be voting on issues concerning marijuana. Of course, personally, I was against the legislature passing it, but at least I think we've put in regulations to control it as best we can under what the law they passed. So let's hope that, I personally hope that we don't have a whole lot of cannabis outlets in the county. That's just a personal opinion. I hope that we can get our economic growth going and stimulate it in this county so we never have to see another drop in population on as we just seen in this last 10 years for the report that came out. We need population growth in the county and the city, and a lot of that's predicated on developing our greater economic resources and growth in our economic sector. That's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Taylor. Commissioner Dana.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Joe. I know the guys have been out mowing and weeding, and I can now see my intersection at Cherokee and Darby. There's been quite a few near misses because I pull out and you kind of inch out. And thank you. Annabelle, GRT Distribution, this is interesting.
If I may, Mr.
Yes,
Chairman,
please.
Yes, so we just received our distribution this morning for the activity in June. It was actually a 9% decrease compared to last year. I did have one note that I would like to let you know about the GRT on online sales. So as of July 1st, the online sales will be taxed at the local grocery sales rate by your shipping zip code. So it will be going based off of that, and I did speak to somebody from Tax and Rev, and I asked if we would be seeing that impact. And so he stated that as of September, next month, for the activity of July, we should start seeing that coming in. We won't be receiving the House Bill 6 amendment anymore, because that will be replaced with those online sales. So I'm hoping to see what the impact is for next month. As for August, right now, the reports haven't been released as the industries that have been impacted, but as soon as I get that information, I will email it all to you.
Thank you. It'll be interesting to see what the impact is on online sales, especially since everybody's kind of hunkering down again, ordering. So thank you, Louis, again, for all that you did on that. That was really interesting to see the collaboration. I really appreciate that. And yes, I attended the redistricting meeting when it was here last week, the committee. Interesting figures. I was hoping we'd stay. I was quite surprised, but not really. But it'll be interesting to see what the redistricting committee comes up with. Very important. So we'll see. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Dana. Commissioner Zell.
Yes, thank everybody for all their hard work. Joe, you've been dealt quite a hand here recently. Keep up the good work. And Louis, great job on the ordinance. And thank you, Stan, for your input on it too. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Zell. Commissioner Bilberry.
Yeah, once again, thank everyone for their hard work. I don't envy Louis at all. He's worked hard on this. I know it's been a lot of heartache trying to get it all right. Everybody's putting their input in. I'm like Commissioner Taylor, I thought we'd never be in this position, but here we are. And so we'll do the best we can. Joe, thank you. for all you're doing. I know you guys are working hard, so anyway, that's all I have. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Commissioner Bilberry. I think Ms. Glenna, this is your first meeting.
Yep.
Good to have you. Thank you for stepping in and grabbing hold of the reins. We'll try not to throw you off, but I think you're going to do a great job for us. We really appreciate you. And as everybody else, I mean, I say this every meeting. We have, I think, the greatest county in this state and in this country. I mean, we're one big family. We pick up where someone needs help, and we always do what needs to be done to take care of this great county. Just had an email that I was looking at from the city manager. As everybody else is dealing with issues, so is American Airlines. I know I've heard some different stories over the last couple of weeks where people are on planes sitting on the tarmac because they don't have pilots or they don't have this or that. I'm not sure why they got on the plane in the first place, but there's going to be some issues on trying to fly to Arizona or fly to Dallas, and I think we're going to have to be patient with that, considering the situation that we're in right now with COVID and everything, and people, not going back to work. So we have to appreciate what we have at the moment, and just hope that in the future that we get back to some normal things as far as our flights are concerned. But we'll have to wait and see. COVID stuff real quick. And I know this is like, nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to hear about it. The governor has put us back into where, starting tomorrow, if you're indoors, whether you're vaccinated or unvaccinated, that she's mandating that everybody wears masks. And that's going to be up to the businesses and everybody else. I mean, I would tell you that, you probably ought to go ahead and wear the mask. I hate for it to be a mandated thing, because most people, if you ask them to do something, they would probably do it for you. But when you tell them they have to or mandate it, then that creates a problem. And the same thing goes with the vaccination, okay? This vaccination was put together under the Trump administration. You've had a lot of people who've gotten it. You've had some people who've gotten sick from it and everything. I would tell you that instead of Googling or looking at social media or listening to what you're seeing on the TVs and things like that, talk to your doctor. Talk to medical professionals. And if you're in a position where it's okay for you to get that vaccination, then listen to that medical advice on whether or not to get it, okay? There are a lot of folks out there that that they have underlying conditions that it's not a good idea for them to get it. But if your doctor says it's probably a good idea, and I'll just use myself for an example. Dr. Martinez, we spent a lot of time down at MD Anderson over the last year, and I have yet to have a doctor who has recommended not to get it. But then I'm in a healthy place. We have a very high population of people with diabetes in this country, and so I tell you that get the advice from your doctor or your doctors, and decide whether or not to get that vaccination. But we've got all these different variants that are coming, and I really appreciate the Congresswoman proposing this act. Trump's administration, the former administration, put together that article. It's Article 42 to keep people from coming across the border until they meet whatever requirements, or they come in legally or whatever. But we have so much coming across, and you're hearing the reports that many of them are coming across with the COVID infection and stuff. So we need to slow the border down. We really do, if we want to try and solve this COVID issue. We've got 5 schools now that are shut down here in Chaves County, unfortunately, and we're probably going to have more. I mean, you look at our numbers, Chaves County, Lee County, and Eddy County here in southeastern New Mexico, and we're through the roof. So everybody, once again, from the start of this deal, I've asked everybody to be smart, be vigilant, and use common sense, and take care of yourselves and take care of your families and do what's right. Also, another email that we have some of our legislators that are going to call for a special session for the legislature to address the rising crime problem that we have in this state. And really and truly, I don't have a problem putting it on our legislators' plate to help solve this problem, because they've set the bar. They push for us to vote for no bonds, no bail, I mean, all this other stuff. And so you have a revolving door for these folks that are committing crimes that go from carjacking to killing to everything else. And until we have some consequences for those actions, it's not going to get any better. It's only going to keep getting worse. So I hope they accomplish that. I'm not sure that they will, but we'll see. We need to pray for this country. We have so much going on, and just got to say prayers. Afghanistan, southern border, everything that we have going on in this country, our law enforcement. So pray for this country. With that, God bless this county, this state, and God bless America, and everybody have a good rest of your week and have a fantastic weekend, and we will go to sign documents. Thank you.